What if nearly everything you learned about sexual desire was incomplete? Not wrong necessarily, but missing crucial pieces of the puzzle. Welcome to Monk of Matrix, where we explore the frameworks that shape our understanding of intimacy, relationships, and human connection. Today, we're examining a revolutionary shift in how science understands sexual desire, one that's liberating thousands of people from unnecessary shame and confusion. Most of us grew up with what researchers call the desire imperative, this unspoken rule that you should constantly feel spontaneous attraction to your partner, that the spark must always be alive and crackling with energy. But what if that's not how desire actually works for most people? Let's break down two fundamentally different ways humans experience sexual desire. First, spontaneous desire. This is what movies and romance novels show us. You're going about your day, and suddenly, boom, you want intimacy. It appears like lightning from a clear sky. You see someone attractive, you have a passing thought, and desire just emerges. This is completely normal and healthy. Second, responsive desire. But here's what rarely gets discussed. For many people, desire doesn't show up first. Instead, it responds to pleasure that's already happening. It's not a lightning bolt, it's a slow sunrise. You begin an intimate experience, and as pleasure builds, desire follows. This is also completely normal and healthy. Here's the revelation that changes everything. Many people struggling with low desire don't actually have a desire problem. They simply have responsive desire in a world that only validates spontaneous desire. The issue isn't finding where the pleasure is, it's discovering the pathway that leads to it. Understanding how we got here requires looking at the evolution of sex therapy research. Phase 1, the Masters and Johnson era. Early researchers identified 4 phases: arousal, plateau, orgasm, and refractory period. Revolutionary for its time, but notice what's missing. Desire itself wasn't even in the model. Phase 2, the desire revolution. In the 1970s, researcher Helen Singer Kaplan noticed this glaring gap. She introduced the 3-phase model: desire, then arousal, then orgasm. Finally, we could talk about wanting sex, not just having it. Phase 3, the dual control model. Then came the real breakthrough. Researchers at the Kinsey Institute proposed something radical. Sexual response works like everything else in your brain, as a balance between accelerators and brakes. This simple insight transformed everything. Think of your sexual response system like driving a car. The accelerator, sexual excitation system. This notices everything sex-related in your environment. What you see, hear, smell, touch, and taste. Physical sensations in your body, your thoughts, beliefs, and imagination. It sends the turn-on signal. The brakes, sexual inhibition system. Simultaneously, your brakes are scanning for reasons not to be aroused right now. These might include stress from work, body image concerns, unresolved relationship tensions, fear of interruption, past trauma signals. Here's the critical insight. When people struggle with arousal or desire, it's rarely because their accelerator is broken. Usually there's too much pressure on the brakes. Becoming aroused isn't just about turning on the ons, it's equally about turning off the offs. But here's where it gets really interesting. Pleasure isn't just about physical touch, it's about context. The exact same sensation can feel amazing in one situation and completely unwelcome in another. Think about being tickled when you're in a playful, connected mood versus being tickled during an argument. Same touch, same person, completely different experience. Why? Because your brain interprets physical sensations through the lens of your emotional and mental state. External context includes privacy and safety, environment and atmosphere, time and energy availability. Internal context includes stress levels, emotional state, mental preoccupations, body image feelings. Couples who maintain strong, intimate connections over decades aren't constantly overcome with spontaneous desire. Instead, they've learned to co-create contexts where both partners' brains can access pleasure. They understand each other's accelerators and brakes. Many people find having sex easier than talking about sex with their partner, but if you want to explore these ideas together, conversation becomes essential. The key is framing it positively. We belong together intimately, and I want to explore how we can deepen our connection. I want to understand what works for you and share what works for me in a way that feels supportive, not critical. Forget chasing the spark. Instead, think of smoldering embers, banked and ready to stoke when you're ready, with a shared vocabulary for bringing the fire to life. If you remember only one thing from this exploration, let it be this: pleasure is the measure, not frequency, not positions, not comparing yourself to others' experiences or expectations. Simply, do you enjoy the intimacy you're having? If everyone involved is glad to be there, free to leave without negative consequences, and genuinely likes the experience, you're doing it right. Everything else, desire patterns, frequency, techniques, falls into place when you center pleasure in your definition of sexual well-being. You're not broken, you're not inadequate, you're simply learning your own unique wiring, and that knowledge is freedom. This is Monk of Matrix, where we decode the systems that shape human experience. If this shifted your perspective, subscribe and join our community exploring the frameworks behind relationships, consciousness, and meaningful connection. Next time, we'll examine T's next topic, another Matrix moment waiting to be decoded. Until then, remember, understanding the system is the first step to transcending it.